Hello everybody, hope we're having a good week so far. So today is Thursday, 25th of April 2013, and I'm reviewing last night's awesome episode of Arrow. It's back, babies, it's back. Episode 20, Home Invasion. This is it now, the last 4 episodes from this week until May 15th is when the final episode is airing. So good return to form. Home Invasion is this episode was quite interesting in that Laurel Lance is helping a family through some sort of disposition with a financial advisor who pretty much well, let's just say he conned them basically. He sort of like taking their lives, took all their life savings kind of thing, college fund for their son. So they went to see Laurel, you know, as their attorney to be to represent her as such against this chap by the name of Edward Rasmus. And let's just say that unfortunately certain things don't go according to plan. The mother and father get killed by a hitman that Rasmus has hired, and on the other side of this episode, obviously Diggle, if you remember at the end of Unfinished Business, Oliver said to Diggle that he was going to help him track down and take down Deadshot once and for all. So Diggle is chasing after Deadshot. To do this, he needs to bring Deadshot out in the open, and the only way to do that was to speak to his good friend who works at the CIA, Layla, and she eventually cottons on what he's actually up to. She realises it was a whole personal vendetta thing against, you know, him killing his brother, this, that and the other. So she realises what John's up to, and basically says, you know, look, you know, you really think I'm stupid. You decide to use me and my agents against a guy who killed your brother, kind of thing. And it's that trust issue there between those two, you know, because Diggle knows Layla really well. The pair of them have worked together in the past as well. So that friendship is being tested. The trust is being tested between them there. On top of that, Tommy is I tell you what, Tommy is, I wouldn't say he's treading on thin ice, but given what happened in this episode and the events leading up to what occurred towards the end, you know, he obviously made some interesting choices. He still feels that Oliver and Laurel have a thing together, and whilst Oliver didn't exactly admit it to Tommy, Tommy felt, you know, he actually says to Oliver, he says, you know, at the end of the day, even if Laurel was to find out who you really are, she wouldn't hesitate to go back to you, kind of thing. So there's that test in the friendship between them two as well. So you can literally just cut their atmosphere between them with a knife. It's just unbelievable. So anyway, what else have we got? Flashbacks to the island, obviously Shadow and Oliver and Slade Wilson, and Shadow is teaching Oliver how to shoot a bow and arrow. It's very interesting. It is really interesting. And the quirks that Slade makes against Oliver about how him and Shadow are going to infiltrate to save her dad, and you know, we're going to need a bit more, you know, some sort of distraction kind of thing. And Shadow suggesting Oliver, and he's going, right, okay, he can't shoot a bow and arrow, you know, no offence to you. And Oliver's like, well, it's not like as if I was going to disagree with you, you know. So don't forget, this is like 5 years before, and he has no idea what he's doing. You know, he's stranded on an island with these two people. There's a bit of a coming together between Oliver and Shadow as well, which I thought was quite cute. That was it. Speedy. I've got to mention Thea and Roy. Roy feels he needs to catch up with the Hood, and he would do it through any means necessary, including stealing I mean, of all the possible bad things you could do, stealing a police radio from Detective Quentin Lance, as if he wasn't going to know that his radio went missing. So let's just say he got set up for that one. He set himself up for that one really badly. Quentin tells both Thea and Roy, you know, what the vigilante is all about, what he actually does. He actually shows them a dead body. But I just love the way that they were talking to each other, because obviously they're now together, Roy and Thea, and Roy really wants to find the Hood because he's given him a sense of purpose. He owes him his life as such, and the pair of them, even Thea's like, well, I'll tell you what, if it really means that much to you and you mean that much to me, let's go and find him together. So they're both going to be on a mission to look for the Hood. And I just sat there, and the first thing I said was, Speedy and Speedy going after Green Arrow. This is going to be fun. The question is, which one of them is going to be the Speedy first? That's the thing, because obviously you've got Roy Harper, you have got Thea Queen, although in the comics it was Mia who was also Speedy as well. So it weighs up the options a bit. So we'll see how that goes. I'm guessing it probably won't come fully into play until season 2 anyway, between those two. We'll see how their adventures go anyway from this point onwards. So anyway, yeah. So this hired hitman that Rasmus got to take out this family who are trying to take him to court. This hitman is, personally, I don't think towards the end, like as the episode goes in, I don't actually think that this hitman was hired by Rasmus. I think Rasmus was working for him. It was confusing, especially towards the end, and you'll see why, which is why I've not said what actually happens towards the end. But it's just interesting. But let's just say Oliver's house gets broken into. Laurel Lance she actually does defend herself pretty well in one situation towards in the middle of the episode. But like I say, Oliver uses his house as such against this hitman, and it really does reveal some interesting notions as to what was really going on in this episode. So yeah, very, very interesting indeed, but a good return to form, as I say. Next week's episode, The Undertaking, is going to be interesting. I've had a quick watch of the promo, and poor old Felicity, I think she's in trouble. That's all I'm going to say. One other thing I've got to mention about this episode, obviously, it was difficult for Oliver to make a choice as to whether or not he should have gone after Deadshot or Rasmus, and that caused a friction between him and Diggle, and that friction led to Diggle making a decision that was rather not hard, but it upset him, basically. Let's just say that Oliver let him down. So when you see it, it really does sort of tug at the heartstrings as such, because these are two guys who are like, proper bromance together, so whereas Diggle was counting on Oliver had he had to reprioritize, and Diggle pretty much says, whenever anything involves Laurel, you just drop everything else and go and save her instead, and you only care about her, kind of thing, or this, that and the other. And you can understand Diggle's position in that side of things, but at the same time you understand Oliver's position. But there's no two way about it, is there? It's either you do one or you do the other. Sometimes you can't do two things at the same time, but that's why you always have to have someone there helping you out. So, but as I say, next week's episode, The Undertaking, should be interesting. We get some flashbacks involving Malcolm Merlyn, Robert Queen, and of course Walter Steele as well. So Colin Salmon will be guest starring again in that episode, so I look forward to that. That'll be fun. Anyway, wow. After this, 3 more episodes left already. Good lord, it's amazing to realise how quickly season 1 has almost finished. So it's been a good run so far. I really have been enjoying the show. Really have been enjoying it. And a lot better than I expected. I mean, when I first heard that this show was being made, my first thought was, okay, as much as I enjoyed Green Arrow being on Smallville, I don't want it to be in that sort of setting, if you know what I mean. But this time they turned it down. They toned the darkness a bit. They made it that little bit more realistic as well, and it's edgy, and we love it. We absolutely love it. It's got all the hallmarkings of a great show. So as we can see already, it's doing really well. So season 2, bring it on. Let's see what you got. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you all very soon. Bye.